Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Man Weave College Basketball Podcast. The season is fast approaching. We are under 40 days from actual games, which is just manna from heaven at this point, in the longest offseason in sports. I don't know if that's true. Don't fact check me. It feels like it. I am Jim Root, your host this week for the Weave Pod. I'm joined by Kai McEwen and Matt Cox, the typical fearsome threesome that we throw at you here on the Weave. We are talking ACC this week. We have entered the Power Five realm of previews. We're starting with the Atlantic coast that stretches from coast to coast. Stanford, Cal, get out of here. And we will discuss every single team in detail, give some thoughts on the conference overall, how many we think will make the tournament, our standard preview format. If you have not been around these parts before, we will, before we get there, have a brief intro and we will talk Roots Roundup, some news and notes from around the sport, a lot of coaching news for late September, rather shocking stuff. So we'll cover that, cover a couple injuries, and then we'll get into the preview and close up with some reviews submitted from you wonderful, friendly folks. So that is the plan. Before we get to it, hi Kai, hi Matt. I feel like I should let you talk.
Hey, Jim. Good to be here. I'm excited that we're getting started on our Power Conference previews. This is wonderful. It's good to see Matthew. It's good to see Jim. And gosh, I'm ready to talk about Boston College basketball, my favorite team.
Ooh, excuse me, I just got nauseous thinking about Boston College. Matt, how are you?
You know what? I was going to power rank my least interesting programs in this league. I actually would not put Boston College one for this year.
I would.
Huh.
I think Cal is more.
Oh,
There's more apathy in my brain around Cal, as I literally just put in the team rankings in our outline. And like David said on the A10 preview, I forgot to mention Cal. So I think Cal is my like.
Matt, I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet now. I'll board bet you Cal versus Boston College.
Oh, I like that. I accept.
shall
BC is
also-
a better ball club this season than Cal. I love becoming fired out of the gates early. That's good.
That's
Yep,
right.
Shake.
We're bringing takes. It's 7:04 in the morning on Friday, September 26th, and we're ready to talk ball. So
Wait,
Cal,
Kyle, are you in
better
this?
than BC.
yeah, I'll take Cal. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Giddy up. The Eagles versus the Golden Bears, as everybody wants to hear on the ACC pod. You're not here for Duke. Get out of here. You kidding me? All right, quick shout out to Jay Petty, aka Joe Pascal, the composer of our tunes, soon to be a Chicago resident again. We're excited to have him back in the fold where the Weave resides. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 3MW_CBB. You cannot make me call it X. I won't do it. Subscribe to the pod on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, etc., wherever it is you get your podcasts, and leave reviews. We read the Apple reviews on the show at the very end. You can use it as a mailbag, submit a question, make us talk about whatever you feel like. That's how we close the show every week, so check that out. Also subscribe on YouTube, where we are streaming live on Friday morning here. See our happy faces, Kai's very cool background, Matt's very generic background. In my apartment, I haven't figured out a good background yet for my rearranged apartment, but check us out. The video is out there if
on
you'd
the
like
list.
that option. We do have one review. We'll close with that. But before we get into the roundup, we got a couple of plugs, a couple of housekeeping things to keep up with here. Shout out to Trilly Donovan and the Basket Under Review, which is where our previews are housed this year. We are just finishing our top 50 countdown today with number 1 Houston. So they're all out there. That means conference previews start next week. We are going to pump them out in the month of October, likely 2 per day at some points, just to get them in your hands so you're ready for the season upcoming. Churning them out. I know we've all got some teams left to write still. That's what happens when you got to write 100 teams each. And Will Warren is helping us writing a few leagues as well. So you're going to get some really high quality stuff there. You've got great writing from guest people like Brian Geisinger. He's got some sweet detailed ACC breakdowns. You got Jordan Majeski, Brian Ralph. You got Eamon Brennan's pod. Will Warren and I are doing a pod on there called Stats by Will and Jim. It's $10 a month to get access to the site and the Discord. I think it's totally worth it for a college hoop fan, especially with the season around the corner. So check that out. You can interact with us at any hour of the day. Tag Matt when he's up feeding his baby at 4 in the morning. It's great. It's fine. I
I'm
guess that's
ducking
not
that
really the case
responsibly
anymore,
right now.
but
It
yes.
feels nice.
Good. Yeah, Matt, that's what we're here for, to distract from real life. That's what the Weave Pod is all about. All right, let's get into Roots Roundup and talk news and notes, the coaching and the injuries section this week, unfortunately. But before we do, Matthew, a hat tip and shout out to our loyal sponsor, CBB Analytics, who has been here with us through all of preview season.
That's right, Jim. CBB Analytics, the holy grail Bible of college hoop stats, from team to player level statistics. We've been pumping these out pretty heavily, citing this site, but also featuring it in visual form, which is why you should be attached to it. Team level shot diets, player level shot diets at the D2 and D3 level, not just D1, contextualized, filter by conference, by non-conference, by month, by opponent caliber. Certain lineup combinations. You have 1-man, 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, 5-man, on-off splits, looking at all that good stuff. Especially, again, I want to double underscore the D2, which is just looking at IU Indy and the West Liberty breakdowns yesterday. They have all the shot charts, individual players, and again, some of the on-off guys. Who did they bring back? Who did they lose? Who did they, all that good stuff. So very helpful. If you're a coach, there's no reason to not be subscribed to it. If you're a diehard fan, I would also put you in that category. Please sign up today. Use our promo code when you do that. It's WEAVE, WEAVE, for a $40 off subscription. Thank you, Nick and team at cbbanalytics.com.
Appreciate it, Matthew. Okay, let's talk news and notes. We'll start, Kai, with the NCAA mysteriously pulling out their can opener and opening a can of worms. I do not approve of, but I guess they kind of have to. The first former G League player was deemed eligible for college basketball competition. That is Thierry Darlin at Santa Clara. So he goes from playing in the G League and the G League overtime, or the G League Elite, or G League Ignite. That's what it was called. Yeah. And then Kai, he was a teammate of our boy, Jared Brownroach, for the Delaware Bluecoats.
Oh.
So he played with Jared. But he is now eligible to play for Santa Clara after 2 years in the G League. This could start a flow of players trying to do this. It's a new route, I guess, to get into college hoops with international players who've played pro and then get approving for playing college. How do you feel about it, Mr. McEwen? Do you care? Shrug? What do you got?
I do want to say suck it to the G League and Overtime Elite backers who said a couple years ago that college basketball was dead. It prevails. Suck it. You were wrong. We told you were wrong, and you were. So suck it. Anyways, I hate this, I think. So are we going full pro college basketball? I think it's ridiculous, for the record, that you can play in the EuroLeague and play college basketball. It makes no sense to me. I don't know why that's a rule. You're basically saying high school American basketball is just as good, is what you're saying. And I don't think anybody holds that opinion. The G League is very strange to me. It's a pro league. There are guys in there who are literally pros. To be able to go play college basketball and be a quote unquote amateur seems wrong. But Matt, I guess I don't care. Whatever. This guy looks pretty good for a college player.
Wow. Is that Kai pro amateurism?
Are we gonna
Mark Emmer defender?
Where's the line? I guess
I
if we're gonna call him pros, then shut up about props, right?
It's so dumb. It's really stupid. He's a really good player. Like,
yes, he looks
very, very good. Like, he had multiple many big time premier programs targeting him coming out of high school. So now you get him 2 years after, a better player that played with pros. Yeah, it's a great pick. Great for Santa Clara. Happy for Herb Sendek. I'm sure he'll be the next lottery pick. That's where did Brandon Pajimski come from? Oh, where did Jalen Williams come from? Oh, and he's maybe the next guy. I don't know. But yeah, Jim, it's gone off the rails. I guess I just need to reorient my brain that it's not college basketball. It's just basketball. What?
Everybody can play.
It's basketball with a college affiliation. They're all clubs, and the club is located at the college. That's just what it is. Anyone can play. Yeah. But that's what it is.
It's a branded team. Basically,
yes.
It's a branded professional team.
The college sponsors the club team or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a raging debate about Darlin's ability in the Discord. So if you are a sicko hoops junkie that wants to debate whether this guy is good and get into the most nitty gritty discussions possible about college hoops, Basket Under Review Discord is for you. Trust me, it was wild. It was impressive, just the amount of people sparring back and forth about this random bit of news. Okay, let's talk coaching news, because there were some big ones, especially at Auburn. Bruce Pearl, done, retired, claims he's not running for Congress. I say I'm skeptical. We will see, but he hands the reins over to his son, Stephen Pearl. Typically, this is I want the leverage to pick my replacement move, after Auburn, I think, had rejected making him the head coach in waiting, as I had read. So this forces the hand of the administration to give him a season. But Matt, they gave him a 5-year deal. I don't know the exact buyout details, which would indicate to me that there still could be some easy outs for the administration. And I ask you, Matt, I made the claim that the buyout will be paid. Do you think he lasts all 5 years?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to be contrarian Cox here with like defending the whole thing, but no, I think Pearl will be a really good coach, but I don't know. I just think a lot can happen in 5 years. Kai,
That's a valid
5 years is a
point.
long
Yeah,
time.
it's
Today's day
hard
and age.
to measure because he got the job because of his dad. He's getting the job. He got the assistant job because of his dad. He's getting this job as his dad. Is he a really good coach? He might be. He has a good reputation defensively, but it's still nepotism at the highest degree, and it's still a manufactured move to give your son the coaching job. I don't think it works out very well for 5 years. I think this
However,
year it could be fine.
oh,
It could be fine.
I'm sorry, I
this
just
year.
want to say let me just look like Auburn basketball. I think we'll find out what it is. Like, I don't think it's a really highly sought after
I don't
job.
think it's. I think it's going to tank the program, frankly. Not because of Stephen Pearl, but because Bruce Pearl's leaving, and he's a fantastic coach, and he's built this program literally. He did it. He's the only guy to take him to the Final Four. He did it twice.
He's like special advisor to the athletic department now or something, so he's gonna be floating around the building. But to Kai's point, for people that are like, no, it's not nepotism. He has been an assistant for 8 years. He has only coached under his dad.
And he wasn't
That's
in
it. It's the only
basketball
job he's ever
before
had.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody had like an 8 year only one team resume and got, I mean, like, I guess it's sort of describing like John Shire, who's there for longer, but like it's a clear indication of nepotism. And what I said, and I said in the Discord, is when it's your son, there's a clear bigger reason than merit for
Yeah.
getting the job. And that's why I'm super skeptical, and I will be skeptical about a lot of these. Like, hey, Matt McKillop, Doug Davenport, prove it. I want to see
Right.
why you're getting this job. Prove to me that you deserve it. So definitely holding the prove it sign up for Mr. Stephen Pearl at Auburn. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to transfer, even though it was a rather large surprise. I don't think they were expecting this. I don't think it was like whispered internally and kept under wraps. This was a surprise for a lot of people, and but it does seem like the players don't really have anywhere to go at this point. So ride out the season. We'll see how it impacts them. I could see Keyshawn Hall just trying to stack stats for the NBA, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't. There could be a volatile tinderbox here where it goes up in flames at some point.
I think I'd
tough
be a
when you
little
have
bit more
training
okay
change
with
that way.
it. Sorry, last point on this. The timing is just so, you're right, Jim, so obviously a leverage play. It does remind me a little bit of when Tony Bennett, his timing, basically to allow it to be handed off to his guy, Ron Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Just it didn't sit well with me. I'm sorry. Like, if you're going to
Yeah.
leave, you need to at least, in my opinion, I think you owe something to the program. Maybe you don't. Maybe that's BS, but that's tough. That's why it sort of makes me a little bit more apprehensive about the choice.
Yeah, I
Feels
mean, like Bo
forced.
Ryan retiring midseason, so
Oh,
it's like
exactly.
you have to give it to Greg Gard. Like that worked out. He's not Bo Ryan's son, so imagine if Will Ryan got handed that job.
Yeah.
One of the worst coaches I've ever seen in college basketball. So that's the risk you run when you don't really have a sample size of how good the coach is, and he hasn't been around that long. All right, a couple other ones to discuss here. At Wagner, Donald Copeland was suspended with allegations of abuse. Kai, I don't know if you read the story, the excerpt that I saw in the Discord, but basically he was withholding water breaks and running them way too hard, and somebody snuck a Gatorade into a practice, like hid it behind the bleachers or something, and he got caught drinking it. And I don't know what the exact quote was, but it was like, I'm going to run you until that Gatorade comes back up. And like one guy got hospitalized, two guys passed out. It seems like also I've read like an assistant has sort of sold him out and rallied the players against the coach. So it seems like it's a real turbulent situation.
A
at Wagner.
mutiny. Yeah, get him out of there. That's true. There's no place for that. It's Staten Island, Matt. I get it. You're tough. Get him out of there. Silly.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing else to add here. Pretty wild. I think we'd heard murmurs about some riffraff last season, I think, and behind the scenes, some Discord. Again, if you're in the Discord, you get little inklings before it really blooms. But yeah, so not surprised. I think he's just kind of not like
old school, tough.
You just really, really old school and just not really as compliant, I think, as what's needed to be in today's day and age.
You guys remember that little handshake with Shaheen Holloway at the end
Yeah,
of the
it's
season?
Ja, right?
Yeah.
Beefy.
Both very excitable fellas, but yeah. All right, the other one to mention here, Cal State Bakersfield. Rod Barnes has stepped down. Likely something to do with, I believe, an assistant allegedly had like child pornography.
Yeah,
It is
lot of
a
that stuff.
messy situation that we are not going to dig into the details on. The keynote is that Barnes is done after 14 years at Bakersfield. Kai, this was like dinosaur basketball. I won't miss him. They did not take threes. It was kind of ugly. I also hate their court. I think it's disgusting to look at. So I don't love having to think about Cal State Bakersfield basketball, but maybe they'll make a new hire that will excite me.
Yeah, I know Matt loved Bakersfield for some reason. It's one of the worst teams to watch play just because of
cool
the aesthetic
brand.
and the
I like the idea
style.
of what it could be.
Yeah, the Roadrunner's a cool mascot, no doubt.
The
But
Runners. I mean, come on, that's awesome. It's a cool nickname. It's a cool shortened nickname. I agree with Jim. Though the court's a little too much for me. Yeah, time for a new chapter, I think.
this is
Barnes
wild,
had a
by
fun
the
team
way.
like, what, 10 years ago or 8 years ago? I feel like when we just got into this, he had a couple of good.
Yeah,
They were
solid.
they were good. I'm not ready to call them fun when their defense is like all fouling. So there's free throw parades and they don't take a single three. Like they're bottom 5 to 10 every year in 3-point attempt rate. Get this basketball off my screen. I don't want my eyes to bleed.
So if
Yeah, he's never
Copeland
shot
leaves, 4 potential coaching changes in September is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, really wild. And the other one that we talked about last week was Wofford, and they now have their new coach, which is not an interim internal promotion, which was a little surprising. Kevin Giltner off of the Virginia Tech staff. Now, obviously, connections here. Mike Young used to coach at Wofford. They know each other. Giltner was an assistant at Wofford, familiar with the administration, with the program. It certainly helps. But yeah, we mentioned it, Matt, with some of the other late changes. Like players aren't probably going to transfer in September, so they're a little bit backs against the wall. But I'm curious what the dynamic will be after this, where, I mean, last year with like Miami after Larinaga stepped down early and Virginia after Sanchez took over, like sometimes the players can get real disinterested real fast.
Yeah, I listened to the presser. Apparently, all the players were there. It's great. We'll see. I remember when John Jacobs was introduced at FAU, all the players were there too, or whatever. It's all, we'll see. Yeah, it's going to take time. I think it's easy to be committed for week 1. We'll see how week 4 beyond goes and everything. But Mike Young guy, close ties to the program. I don't. So maybe it
Yeah,
works. Just a stupid
He
situation.
played for him too, in addition to
Yeah,
being a
like
coach.
lives and breathes Wofford. So I don't know. Maybe that helps.
He's younger
with
than
the
Jim.
community.
Great. Awesome.
I know.
Really happy to hear that. That's wonderful. I mean, that's like half the coaches now, it feels like.
I know. I got to stop distrusting coaches younger than me. At some point, I'll be 50. And it's like, no, there's probably some good coaches who are 45, 47. I just need to get over the inexperience thing.
Matt, speaking of the presser and the players being there, did you guys see the note on Auburn? It was like, hey, some of the players had class. All right. That's why they weren't there. It's like, all right.
What?
That's,
Okay.
Don't
Oh,
Streisand
yeah.
affect yourself. I don't think people are making a huge deal about players not being there, but you calling it out, Mr. Beat Writer, makes it a little weirder. Don't do that.
College
Don't
basketball
Streisand affect
players,
yourself.
Jim, famous for going to class.
Yes. Really well known, especially those early weekday.
Yes.
I guess not.
Is
weekday
do we think
Early
what's his
weekday.
face is going to class at Santa Clara?
Thierry,
Thierry
Darlin?
Darlin?
Do we think
Yeah,
Darlin's
he
going?
can't wait to hit the books. He's so excited.
That's my thing with college. If you're going to go, I get it's everyone can play. You got to at least take X number of courses. There should be some BS requirements. So like these guys have
Well,
to
there
just
are.
like,
Well, there-
crap, fine.
You
And it
just
got to be
take-
like maybe like at least
You gotta
decently
take
high level. I don't know.
science. You got to take math. You got to take hard classes.
A well-rounded
Gen Eds, baby.
curriculum.
But I think I mean, you have to for first semester. They can come if they're going to leave after their
Yeah.
second semester, they can kind of throw it out. But we'll see. All right, let's talk injuries quick before we get to the 18-team SEC or ACC because it takes a while to get through 18 teams. Taman Lipsey of Iowa State is out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee issue. This sucks. He was hurt most of last year. I think it was an upper body, like forearm thing that was affecting his shot. Let's get him healthy. Senior year, really fun guy to have around. We like these guys that stick around a program for 4 years. Let's get Taman Lipsey healthy. Kai, impacting your rating yet? Or are you just waiting and seeing?
Not yet. It sucks though. Yeah.
Okay, it does suck. Matthew, a similar time frame of injury for your boy Malik Brown at Duke. The shoulder thing is back. And I think the procedure was a little while ago, but it just kind of came out that he will likely miss the start of the season. Maybe the Texas and Kansas games early on. Your concern level is what?
5 out of 10.
Okay. It's Ngungba
Yeah, I think
season.
he's really important. I think it was clear last year, and I don't think they have as much proven depth, especially defensively, this year. So I think his
Yeah,
impact
there's
is
no-
more valuable this year. I talked about that in my preview, actually. Yeah, I think it's going to be big because he's had issues before. It feels like it's not going to go away. Like Lipsy, like he's had injuries before. Once you have one, you don't feel like, oh, when he comes back, you're good. It's like, no, because then it sort of compounds into lingering risk, and that's why I hate it.
Yeah, they don't have like the third banana of this rotation like Malawach last year with Ngungba and Brown. So it's just those two. If a Duke fan yells at me about Ifeanyi Ufechukwu from Rice, I will laugh at you like straight to your face. That guy's terrible. He should not play minutes for Duke. So you might see some Boozer at the 5 lineups early on. I think that would make a lot of sense, which helps Nick Kaminia get playing time, helps Sebastian Wilkins maybe get playing time. We'll see. I don't think it's a death knell by any means, but he does raise the ceiling quite a bit as a terrific defender and passer. Alabama's Jaleel Bethea is out for an indefinite period of time. Nate Oates says it's not season ending, but he had foot surgery. We don't know exactly when he'll come back. Kai, they're already relying on Latrell Wrightsell coming back from an Achilles. He's not full strength yet. Houston Millette's coming back from a season ending injury. It's getting a little dicey there with Bama and their depth.
Yeah, I would be surprised, Jim, if they are a top 10 team in KenPom this year again.
I would be rather shocked as well.
Yes.
I don't think the roster's quite there, even with Phylon being a megastar. Front court's weird. Depth is a little shaky for their pace. They love to have depth, and I don't know if they're going to quite have it this year.
I was kind of bullish on Bethea too, so this is tough.
Yep. All right, let's repeat the Aiden Holloway process of
Yeah, basically.
get a former 5-star to come in and play in our system that emphasizes this type of skill set. We'll see. If he gets back, I still think he can contribute, but it might be tough missing so much time. The last one to note here, Utah's Babacar Faye is out for the season, transfer from Western Kentucky. This roster was already kind of bleak, already kind of thin. I'm real worried about the Utes this year, unless Alex Jensen is Rick Majerus 2.0 or even Rick Majerus 0.5. They could be bad. That's all I'm going to say. We don't need to dwell on Utah. We'll talk about them in the Big 12 preview. Other random news and notes. Sister Jean has retired from games. She's 106 years old. Good. Stay at home and watch the games on the comforts of your couch, I guess. Not
Yes.
really couch, but
It's what she is 41 years past the age of retirement age. That's crazy.
yeah, we're not even 41 years old at all.
Oh, my God, thank goodness.
Yeah, we're creeping that way
She
though.
lived a
Kai.
whole life longer than we've lived after. I mean,
Yep,
that
after
is
retirement.
wild.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, the Final Four run was like a decade ago or more. I'm losing track of years.
I can't.
decade
remember
ago.
17?
No, that was like, oh no, you're right. It was 17. Okay, I'm mixing. Yeah.
Something like that. But you're right.
Still,
man.
long time ago.
It was 18. It was 18. I
18.
went to that Final Four. Villanova won, and
Nova by a
Looked them.
million points. Right?
Michigan blew up Loyola. Yes. All right, that's it, guys, for the Roots Roundup. Matthew, I'm going to hand the baton gracefully to you to
Thank
host
you.
our ACC preview because you wrote it for Basket Under Review.
I did. 18 teams. Too many. 2 coasts. Also too many. But here we are. I think the ACC is doing we're just going to call ACC and not get into the specific words of the nomenclature. But the league was bad last year. A lot of hoopla off season. Got to fix our scheduling. Got to be better in the non-con. I mean, Duke doing the whole thing where we're trying to, set up play the best teams in the conference so we can rack up Q1 wins. Like it was definitely a down year for the league. And that was in the wake of, I would argue, another down year, but saved by the bell in terms of the NC State Clemson tournament run. So I think the league overall, finally now going to next year, I'll just set the table, I think will be better, improved. The middle of this big mega conference still feels a little softer, mushy than, say, the mush kai of the Big 12, the Big 10, and the SEC. I think there's more. The middle of those steaks is cooked medium well. The middle of this steak in the ACC is a little medium rare, Jim, but cooked more than last season. I think that's the theme at a broad level. We'll get to the top end blue bloods in a second. Do you agree with that at first glance? Either of you? No. Yes.
I think it's better than last year. I'll let Jim talk too. And then I do agree there's much. Like, I think there are like 9 teams that are rated almost the same for me in the middle of this conference. It's kind of wild how they're all the same. There's still a lot of mush at the bottom, though.
Yeah, you've got too many teams and some that aren't overly committed to winning at basketball, and that's a problem. I believe it was Eamon Brennan on his podcast said like last year was the first year in Bubble Watch he would write that the ACC sucks and nobody even pushed back anymore. Like for a while, ACC fans were like, no, just wait till the postseason. And last year they were just like, yeah, we know we're bad. And it's what it felt like. It's been kind of like year after year of them being the worst of the Power Fives. And it is a bummer, but maybe it's a little stronger, Matt. There's definitely hype for some of the new coaches. I don't think there's like home run hires here. Like I don't think Luke Laux and Jay Lucas are SEC caliber great hires the way the SEC's been hiring coaches.
I agree.
And the rosters are better, but let's wait and see. Like I didn't think some of those rosters last year were as bad as they ended up. We thought Miami was going to be good, and they were the worst team in basically P5 basketball. I didn't think Virginia Tech would be that bad. I didn't think Red Autry could F up Syracuse as badly as he did last year. So
Yep.
let's find out before we crown them as back.
Yep. I think the other fun storyline is the NC State Virginia. So I want to break down these tiers in order how we'll talk about these. Tier one, I'm calling the Blue Bloods and the reboots. So that's Duke, Louisville, UNC, NC State, Virginia. I think those are like the five most intriguing teams people care about going in this year, right? And then there's the rest, I think, unless you want to put like, I don't know, maybe Miami in there, maybe Notre Dame with some continuity, Clemson, Wake. I don't know. So this is where I just called it all mush, and I tried to delineate into the good mush and the bad mush. I think the teams that are not in the good mush, Kai, are like Boston College, Stanford, Georgia Tech, and Cal. Maybe Georgia Tech's not in there. Maybe Cal or Stanford rise up. Maybe one of these teams in the good mush fall in the bad mush. But I think there are generally 6 or 18 that I'm just a little bit less enthused by, and I think are more likely to fall into outside the at-large conversation where the top 5, including NC State, Virginia, I feel semi-confident those are going to be tournament teams.
Yeah, you got the top 5 right, in my opinion. I'd actually throw like Duke and Louisville on their own tier personally, and then I'd kind of break it up like
That's
that.
fair.
And I'd also
like
think
natty title contenders.
Yeah,
basically.
And I think
those are
Florida
true. I agree
State-
with that. That's very fair.
We're picking nits here. I think Florida State's in the bad mush. I think they're down at the bottom.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them.
We sometimes have to force tier breaks when we're going through these teams. You don't want like a giant tier, but after 5, Matt, it's such an obvious like
Big
my
break.
drop off from the 5th rating to the 6th rating. Whoever you have as the 6th team is sizable enough to be like, yes, I feel comfortable with this. And then it's kind of a sliding scale down from 6 to 17. I think there's a super clear 18th team that Matt disagrees with me on, but we will get there.
Man, we've been really off in like who will suck the most, and we've been way off in all these conferences so far. Like I have a bad. I've always said this in betting. I have a bad nose for shit. You guys have much better noses for shit. I think everyone's good or has a chance.
I
to be
think
good,
we
so
agreed on
really
Air
identify
Force
this shit.
last week, didn't we?
Yeah, Air Force.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was Air Force.
Well,
that's right.
Fresno State was like a
Or
consideration.
Fresno. I kind of
think Air Force
Fresno.
is just like one of the worst rosters I've ever seen at that level.
All right, let's talk Duke. Best team?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so too. I think Louisville as a case. I'm pretty high on North Carolina. That was I was sort of put tarred and feathered for. I think I initially had UNC rated higher than Louisville. I frankly I've made changes. I've adapted. I've thought through it. I'm flexible. Louisville is better than UNC. I regret that ranking. I've adjusted. I can't in good faith defend that. I have Louisville too. But let's talk Duke number 1. The headline here is the Boozer Bros. They're awesome. Cam Boozer being the headliner. Rated number 3 in the class. Kind of another awesome freshman class we have coming in here, but I think potential generational talent. The big thing with them is like they've won more tournaments than any high school grassroots player ever. Like they have like the all-time winning pedigree to them. And then they also brought in Dame Sarkai from across the pond to replace Cedric Howard, who Duke thought they had, but then he got so good so quickly that now he was in the NBA. Returners Isaiah Evans, Pat Nongba, who is awesome, and that's kind of my guy, really skilled. Malik Brown back, Jim, but hurt. Caleb Foster, the old hat, and then some other freshmen who could be sneaky, good come off the bench. Thoughts on this team? Prognosis.
There's no Sion James, who I like as like the adult kind of. I mean, Kai, remember when we sat behind that like the leaders of college basketball at the Final Four? Sion James was there, and I think he was a big part of like keeping that team pointed in the right direction at all times last year. Cooper Flagg was generational, but it was helpful to have that. They've got a ton of talent this year, lots of lineup options. But there's questions like Cam Boozer, people are putting him on the same tier as Cooper Flagg. I go back and look at Cooper Flagg's season again before you do that, please. I believe Boozer is awesome, and I have him ranked the best of the freshmen. I think he's better than Peterson and Tabansa right now, but that's, I guess, neither here nor there. A little skeptical of Sarr. Is Caleb Foster finally going to be like an efficient winning basketball player? I don't know. Is Darren Harris going to exit the cave that he banished himself to? Is Isaiah Evans going to play any defense, or is he just going to shoot threes like he did last year? I don't know, Kai. The heart of this team is the Boozer Bros. I think Caden's really good. Like watching
Yeah.
him, I think he's like really smart and almost is underrated because he's not Cam. He's smaller and he's not the pro prospect, but he's a consummate point guard, great passer, does everything but like pull up shoot, and I don't think he'll need to on this team. I like Kaminia. I hope he gets to play. Maybe that Malik Brown injury opens it up for him. I think he's a really good player, good shooter. There's just like weird enough questions, Kai, that I think I had them sixth in our national rankings. I'm okay with that. I think they probably end up, or their median outcome is right around there, but questions.
Yeah,
Jim, I agree with the real quick of the Caden thing. It feels like Trey Jones. Like just because he's not Tyus Jones, he's really good though. Like
Yeah,
good, great
I like
floor
that.
general type guy. Go ahead, Kai. Sorry.
yeah,
I agree with that.
wildly talented again. The Boozer thing, I agree he's awesome, Jim, but I cannot take it anymore. The Duke fans and everybody else saying he's Flag or better than Flag already is crazy to me. Cooper Flag had one of the best college basketball seasons ever, not just by a freshman, anybody. To put him on the same level, I understand he might have had better high school stats. That drives me nuts, by the way, the high school thing.
Yeah,
He was
they played
incredible.
for different teams, played with different teammates. Like,
He might have been the best offensive and defensive player last year in the country. That is how dominant he was last season. I think there's a lot of unproven players on this team. Sarr, definitely not a guarantee to translate right away. I think he's good, but not a guarantee. Evans stepping into a role. Harris maybe stepping into a role. Brown injury. I think Shire's going to be tested. I'm curious to see how he fares. Last year's team was arguably definitely the most talented team in the country, one of the most talented teams ever. We'll see what he gets this year. I think he's a good coach, for the record. This team's not as good as last year's historic team.
Jim, what did you bet Duke preseason last year to win the conference? Do you remember that? Didn't you?
they were plus 333.
Oh, that was a great.
What?
That was a gift, by the way.
It was
That was
awesome.
wonderful.
Yes, it was one of my favorite bets of all
Damn.
time.
Yeah.
It's like an
Okay.
easy. Yeah, I made a lot of money on that.
Okay, because
Matt, how much better would you?
plus 220 right now? That feels like I'm trying to square that in my brain.
Louisville's good
very
enough.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Louisville's good enough to make it worrisome. I have to look at the schedule. I think Duke does get Louisville at home only this year. Last year they were only at Louisville, so that factors into your betting there. Matt, how much better would you feel if they had gotten just like a veteran piece,
I agree.
one
That was
more
the-
guy who I knew was going to be solid?
That was the takeaway in my my preview. This feels like the Filipowski team a little bit, where there's just a little too much youth. Like last year had just enough veteran, and Sion James had that, and then some, and that's why he was so critical. I agree, and I think there's because of that youth, you have I think a lower floor than I think Duke fans maybe are admitting. I don't know. I don't really have a good pulse on the broader Duke fan base right now, but this is certainly a lower floor team, no question. Even though there is depth, I think you could argue that Kaminia and Wilkins, the 5-star and fringe 5-star guys who are going to be like the 9th and 10th men, could actually backfill some of that. But I don't know.
well, but, like,
I do
yeah,
feel
like,
like it's
I
a lower
don't-
floor though.
Yeah, with the lower end scenario, like I don't know that Evans is going to be awesome. Sarr could be like a disappointment offensively. I'm not worried about him in defense. Like maybe Caden Boozer's not as good as I think he is. Caleb Foster stays what he is. Like there's a chance that like of all these great options you've got for depth that it's like Cam Boozer's still kind of trying to elevate everybody, which he can, but you know it's in the realm of possibility this team finishes like 11th, like Shire's first team.
It's still a
Cam
still a
Boozer is
4-star
not
freshman.
flag good. Yeah, it is right.
Still a
Okay.
4-star freshman point guard.
I think he's better than that, though. I don't. I think he's better than that.
Maybe.
I'm not. I'm removing that for. And plus, I think Cam Boozer will have the ball in his hands a lot, like Flag did. So Duke won't really need a traditional point guard. Will make Caden's life a lot easier. But Big Pat's my breakout guy. I think he could be like a freak. Like I just
Especially
think
if
people
Brown's
always
hurt.
say
He plays
Yeah.
like 25 minutes, he'll be a monster.
He can shoot, pass. I mean, I think he's like an NBA special, like not Joel Embiid, but just does like crazy things for guys of that size. All right, let's go Louisville. Sorry, that was a long Duke discussion. I tried not to hijack it. I mean, you want to watch a team just rain threes. You got Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, Adrian Woolley, Javon Hadley, Mikkel Brown, who shot from the parking lot in FIBA gym. I mean, I think this is like the best shooting team in America. And they actually have some physical thump with Sonata Frew, one of these international older pros, and he's actually like physical, not like a soft, skilly, like he's got some beef to him, some FU to him. Khalifa's back. So deep. Even like Rogers, my guy coming off the bench, is still here. You got Pryor off the injury. Depth galore. And it's an older team, unlike Duke. That's why you feel good about it. If you're going to like bet against Duke, this is probably a team you bet against Duke with because of the age and the depth.
Yeah, I agree. Best shooting team in the country. No real question about it for me, to be quite honest. My only true questions with them, which maybe even less questions than Duke, are a little bit defensively. How does that perimeter group hold up on that end? Can they create easy shots? They were 21st percentile last year in rim field goal attempt percentage, and I don't think that's going up with Conwell, McNeely, and Brown Jr., who just love to bomb away. And then how's the front court rotation shake out? Like, is it going to be a lot of Frew? Are they going to try to use a bunch of Pryor? I love Khalifa. He's fun. He doesn't create like layups except via his passing. I don't know, Kai. I just like, can they get easy buckets? Can they get stops to go with the incredible firebomb potential that they have where they'll beat teams by like 30 when they're hot?
Yeah, the defense I think was the question last year. They're actually pretty good defensively. I think it remains though, and I think it's fair to question with McNeely and Conwell both coming from pretty poor defensive teams last year. I know Conwell has the ability, but it's not their number one focus, and certainly not Brown's. Pat Kelsey gets all the credit in the world last year for that turnaround. By the way, incredible job. 18-2 in the ACC is nothing to sneeze at, even in last year's environment. This year's backcourt mat is insane. I think Woolley gets a lot of people are brushing over him, and this guy had NBA.
I agree. Woolley's terrific.
I'm more curious. How do you feed all the mouths? I understand like people laugh and say, "Oh, that's why you're a little doubting this team. It's because they have too many guys." Like, well, yeah, sometimes in the NIL era, especially, and guys are vying for the NBA, that matters. I don't know if it'll be a problem here. They play so fast. They play so many guys. Maybe not. I'm just curious to see how the pecking order turns out, and everyone's hyping Brown to the moon as like the second coming of like Trae Young or something like that. We'll see again.
Yeah, Brown the number 6 overall. So yeah, he's like these guys like the lottery pick projected right now just for like he's I think the scouts are in on him. And again, he just looked really good this summer in the USA thing. I love Woolley. I hope he kind of emerges. I hope he actually takes either Conwell or McNeely the 2 or the 3. Just my take on that one.
Conwell is awesome.
I know. I hope McNeely is kind of the off the bench super sub shooter, not like a starter who plays 30 minutes guy. So that's just my hope there. Nothing else to add there. Let's talk North Carolina, a team I like more than most. And I think it's because of a couple things. So they lose basically everybody, right? Steph Trimble's back. That's it. Jan, they bring in Kine Evans from Colorado State. The awesome team. They bring in Henry Visar from Arizona. Awesome big. They got some depth pieces with Powell and Stevenson from West Virginia, Alabama. But you really have to be in on the freshmen, notably Caleb Wilson and Luka how do you say Luka? Not Bogdanovic.
Bogovac.
Bogovac, thank you. From Montenegro, who again, older pro, really good. That's I think the 2 swing guys for this team, Jim, and I'm pretty in on both those guys. Wilson, because I previewed them again. This is Matt preview bias, Kai. Everything you preview we like more because you spend more time on the tape and it looks better. I love Caleb Wilson, like a point forward 6'9" wannabe who can grab and go on the open floor. Maybe that makes him more of a project than a polished guy, but man, he looks really, really good.
Would you rank him top 100 if you had to redo your rankings?
I think I would. I think I missed on him. I think I'd put him maybe over Luka. I'd just swap those two.
Interesting. I'm kind of like,
because Jim, did we both rank like, Luka? We gave him top 100 love.
I think I was the only guy who ranked anyone in the top 100 from the Euros. So, or maybe you shoehorned a couple at the end.
I did. I piggybacked off you. I tried to show him how Euro love, but I think Caleb's going to be a special. Maybe I'm a year too soon on him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I get like Donnie Freeman vibes from him of like good, quite finished product yet. Like, I don't know. And if he's going to be like a super important facilitator, initiator, linchpin, I think we're going to see a lot of turnovers for him. I think it could get a little bit sloppy. Trimble, yes, I don't know. Like when he was healthy, Kai, I'll let you, if you want to talk about the splits for him, he was way, way better. I like Evans as a solid, smart adult who's going to make solid passes and knock down shots. Don't want him running a million pick and rolls like Cadeau did last year. I think that's bad news if that's the case for Carolina. Bogovac, I do like a lot. I think he just makes a lot of sense. Carolina's like sneakily been pretty good defensively under Hubert. They allowed a ton of mid-range last year, like really good shot distribution, even though they didn't like have a great results, like just barely inside the top 50 of Ken Palm's defense. A lot of the advanced stuff I think would indicate better, and they've had good defenses under him. Vesar's going to be a monster in that defense. I don't like Darren Stevenson. I think he should never shoot a 3 again. I don't get why Nate Oates let him do that. Powell's solid, but not sure he's much of a defender to go with his shooting. I don't know, Kai. It's like kind of a mushy. We're talking about a mushy conference. I think there's a little bit of mushiness to this team
Mhm.
outside of like the floor of Kean Evans, and I really like Vasar and I like Bogovac, but I need to be convinced of the Trimble, Wilson, Jaron Stevenson, and I know Carolina fans will scream Isaiah Dennis and Derek Dixon. I'm waiting and seeing on them.
I don't know, man. Like they don't excite me that much. I think Evans is a little overrated at this point.
I love
I think
Evans.
they panicked and
Love
took
him.
him because they lost out in guards. I don't think he's an incredible starting player in the ACC. I think Visar's underrated. Wilson, Bogovac, sure, they could be really good. I am all the way on Trimble being very good this season. He was. I don't have the stats in front of me. I usually pull them, but he was on a tear before he got hurt last season. In for a major role, major run. I don't know if we think about Hubert Davis though. Still, guys, like if you take that, imagine if that luck box title run didn't happen. Okay, UNC loses to Baylor in round 2 of 2022. Then you have an 8 seed, no tournament, a 1 seed, Sweet 16, and 11 seed. It's just not that UNC standard that we've expected. I'm not sure he's going to lift the talent on this team, Matthew, which I think is frankly a little down besides the pure rankings from Wilson and Bogovac.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2024 is a good year. I mean, I know they lost to like I
Yeah,
beat
the
by
1
Bama
seed was
on
great year.
the
Great year. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's 204. I don't think Hubert's like awful. I think the talent here is pretty close to 2024. That's why I had them, I think, what, 15th or something. People thought that was like, I think people think this is like not a top 25 team. I'm just like, I think there's talent here. But again,
Yeah,
I'm pretty bullish on some of the newcomers.
they're top
Shot
25.
creation. That's my big question is shot creation.
Yep,
That's
fair.
what
I think the defense point, real quick here, Jim, was a good one. I think they've been better defensively than people realize. And Hubert, I think, has something to do with that. All right, let's go to the little brother, NC State. I'm kidding. It's not. I didn't mean that.
They are.
Will Wade. Bags were dropped. People were shipped out, shipped in. Lo and behold, we have a fun team. Van Allen Lubin comes over. By the way, was awesome. Like the last 2 weeks of the season last year, people forgot about that. Like he wasn't just like a nothing. He was like very good. Trey Holloman from Michigan State. Got Arsenault, freak defender from Houston. Kai D. Will, Darian Williams, All American candidate maybe from Texas Tech, and some McNeese followers. I mean, it's a good roster. I don't know what else to say. It's Will Wade, great coach, one of the smartest staffs I think in the country. We'll talk about that with Virginia as well. I think you're betting on the coaching intellectual horsepower, and frankly, an old, good, I think, well put together roster, a good fit roster.
Yeah, the king of salesmen. Wade had McNeese top 70 twice and made 2 tournaments. He outperformed Kempom at LSU all 5 seasons, and he would have made 4 NCAA tournaments there if COVID year happened. 2 tournaments at VCU. Like he's just a great coach, and to be able to get Darian Williams away from Kansas to come to NC State, that's crazy to me. I don't know what Darian Williams is doing, but maybe hey, he believes in Will Wade in the vision at NC State. I love Arsenault, winning program. Holloman, I think, is very underrated, and he has that winning quality. I think Lubin showed something at the end of the year, like Matt said. And I like that he brought in a couple of McNeese guys. Reed and Copeland were both Power 5 guys before McNeese. They're not McNeese transfers. They are caliber of a caliber where they can contribute in the ACC. I think they're going to be really, really good, Jim.
Yeah, I like this team a ton. I like them better than North Carolina. I think Wade will outfox Hubert Davis on the sideline this coming year. I mean, he just baffled Brad Brownell with that matchup zone in the NCAA tournament. And I think he'll have some tricks up his sleeve again this year. The pace he slowed down against Alabama, I think, shows that he's not just like a roll the balls out, gather talent guy. He's a really good coach, and I think he's got pieces here. Super switchable roster here. Like Van Allen Lubin is a mobile 5, Trey Holloman is a long 1, and then everything in between. You've got guys that can guard different positions. Copeland can play the 1 at like 6'5", 6'6". Arsenault is a great defender. Darian Williams can guard up or down the lineup. I think that's going to be a real weapon for them. He's got that triple switch he sort of got famous for that is a big part of Will Wade's defenses. Maybe scoring can be a bit of a slog, but I think you play a lot of booty ball with Darian Williams, let him initiate in the paint, let some of those guys shoot. Paul McNeil is like a scoring supernova to end the year and is like everybody's favorite breakout pick in this conference. I think he's a nice pick for it too. I'm with them. And Matt Abel might be a little underrated, the incoming freshman.
Elite
I think
shooter.
people like him. Yep.
Abel can shoot the crap out of it too. Yeah.
This team works for me, Matt. It makes sense.
It checks all the boxes. I think it fits well, but I think finding the pecking order, and maybe it's a fluid thing where it's roster or rotation optimized for opponent versus is it rotation optimized for rhythm and game to game continuity and what's working. I think that's going to be the challenge, if that makes sense for Wade.
I also wish they had one more big that I thought was worth a crap because I don't
I
think
think
Scotty
even Wade
Booby,
thinks
Colt
they're a little
Langdon,
short.
and Michael Wilkins are all bad. If they had kept Paul and Bia that went to Kansas and had like that high upside 7'7" wingspan, I'd like him a little more. But at this stage, it's like Van Allen Lubin and shaky posts after that.
Scotty Abube, shots fired. Not a fan
God,
of
he's
him as
bad.
a backup.
He's bad.
Wyoming castaway. Kyle, let's talk Virginia, Ryan Odom. I like these coaches who coach in like their true dialect of where they're from. Like Odom's a Virginia guy, and like his accent very subtle, but like is a true Virginian, and I love that. Just feels proper.
Virginia
to me.
accent.
It's just all at certain states have a slight
Yeah.
twang to them, and Virginia I think has a little bit, and Odom's got it. This roster is terrific. Again, really sharp staff. Hired Griff Aldrich as his associate head coach, concerning for mid-major programs that the best coaches are being poached by big programs for big money. The best international prospects reside here, I think, with this front line. The backcourt, we'll see how it pans out, but I think this is very clearly with the proof that Odom is as a coach and how much hype this front line tandem's getting. I think this is a top 5 team, and I think everyone's pretty much on board with that. I feel like no one's pushing back against that at all for like SMU or Miami, or it's more likely this team finishes 3rd than I think a team below them passes them. That's how confident I am in Odom and what he's put together.
I think I agree. Yeah, he put together just a really well-fit roster, in my opinion, really experienced. The Hall, White, Thomas gets, they're all veterans. I think White can score even at this level. He was very impressive last year at North Dakota State. Hall is rock steady, tons of experience. And Thomas, he's so versatile. He played for a very good San Francisco team. I'm glad he's eligible. And then, yeah, the international guys, DeRitter, Grunlow, 2 very highly regarded players, very smart going international route to fill out your roster with the resources Virginia has in basketball, not as much as other teams. I'm in on this team. And plus, we didn't mention Devin Tillis and Sam Lewis, more veteran depth that's competent. I don't even mind the Onyenso get. I think Odom gets them close to solid Bennett levels, not like elite top 10 in the country tier, but I think they're back flirting with the top 25.
Yeah, I think they'll be top 25. I think flirt with top 20. I can't remember exactly where I ranked them in our countdown, but like if they finished 18th, I'm not shocked. I think the offense is going to be that potent. They can do a lot of 5-out stuff if they want to, or 4-out, 1-in. Tons of skill. I think they've got enough creators with Thomas getting downhill into space. Down Hall's just kind of like I called him a know your role guard. I don't know how you feel about that, but
yeah,
like it's more know your role big men is typically the label, but he does what he's supposed to do. Not like a star, but he fits well with this. Jakari White, Sam Lewis, like 2 mega mid-major shooters. And if the Euros translate, my God, like I think that's going to be.
And Chance Mallory's awesome too.
I was just about to say that.
Sorry,
Scriven Chano
awesome.
from Mayor. I'm thinking maybe I should. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I always don't like that he's on this team that's too good. I feel like he's going to have to. He might just be better than Hall. I mean, Hall's what 25 at this point, and I'd love.
And he's
I ranked him
6'4"
top
and
100.
jacked. That helps.
Right, like it's just gonna be hard to get on the floor for him. But I just think he's so like he's super athletic. He can make crazy. I mean, this is a really deep team. Again, the theme with these top end teams with bigger NAL budgets, especially if they're well coached, floor feels pretty high with the depth. I know Kai talked about the too many mouths to feed thing. Fair, but the floor is very high for these last 2 teams we just talked about.
Yeah, just if like the defense could be bad, but like Grunow's a good rim protector, and they've got athletes. But like White and Lewis are not good defenders. I'm not going to go make a case for them as like shutdown guys on the wing.
All right, let's go to tier 2, and we'll go through this a lot faster here. Kai, SMU, I want to go to you because we were both right about SMU last year. This team was good, and no one believed us. I don't know if we knew why they'd be good, but they were.
Didn't we all rank them like 50th? They finished 50th?
We all ranked them. Oh, Jim, you ranked them too. People thought we were way too on SMU.
I
think I had them like 54th.
They had like 7th in the ACC, and people got mad.
And they would have been better if Buki not got hurt.
They got cross with us, Kai.
Cross.
They had
Matt
Cross. Yep.
Boopy Miller's back. If he's healthy, he's awesome. He's the key to this team, Kai. He's the straw that stirs the drink. Good little Robin guard next to him and BJ Edwards. They fit well. Jaron Pierre, huge transfer pickup from Jack State. 21 a game. Strong, power wing, shot maker, cement Igatoglu up front, who some people are in on, some people aren't. I think he was really good. And then Corey Washington from Wichita, and then a bunch of 4-star freshmen.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this roster looks like.
Yeah, and year one, infield. Hey, infield zone, by the way, 50th. Yeah, that makes total sense. He's going to finish there again. They're fourth in the ACC. Boopy and Edwards is huge. You get your starting backcourt back. I know they lost Chuck Harris. That's very rare in this day and age, and I think it still matters. And I think Pierre is very, very good, and he will be a major player this season in the ACC. I think Walters is decent. Washington's decent. Transfers. And, yeah, you mentioned tons of 4-stars. Okay, fill out the roster. You could do worse. I think they're right in the middle of the mix, Jim, of this conference. Maybe slightly down from last season, but still right in the thick of things.
Yeah, somebody in the Discord asked, like, who's going to finish the exact same in Ken Palm as they did last year? And I was like, SMU 50th feels like a wonderful guess for that question. They could finish right around that range again. Pierre's an interesting one to introduce to a backcourt that has good vibes with it because he's going to want the rock. I mean, he had a mega high usage for Jacksonville State, took a ton of threes off the bounce, was basically their offense. Can he scale down and still be as effective? I think probably. And I think Sam Walters was a really smart get to fit with everybody else because that's a low usage shooter who can defend a little bit better than I think his reputation says. Not as into the depth here. We're really
Freshman's
praying.
pretty good though. I like the rookie, Jim.
freshmen.
It's a good rookie class. I think you have to be in on the rookie class to believe this team can finish safely in the upper half of the conference because there is going to be a lot of reliance on the young legs because this bench is not proven deep. It's a freshman deep bench.
I will say I'm shocked if they finish above any of the top 5 in Ken Palm.
I agree
the
with
top
that.
5
Yep.
teams we listed, I would be a little like, wow, something happened to one of them or SMU ascended because of the freshmen. But I like the starting lineup. Washington's a solid role fit with them. Good enough for me to just call them Enfield zone again.
General theme.
Remember early in the year when they were number 1 in the country in possession length? They were just like zipping up and down. Bippity boppity boopy was like the fastest player on the court. And then they got into ACC play against even like semi-competent teams, and they were not as good. So I'm curious if that happens again.
Yeah, they pressure, they're athletic, and I think this revamped team can replicate that. And Corey Washington's, I'm a huge fan of him too. I think it's a good fit here. All right, let's go to Miami, Kai. Jai Lucas, Coral Gables.
Boy, Jai Lucas. Your boy, Matthew.
He's not my boy. He's your boy. Trey and True. Trey Donaldson, True Washington. Malik Renault, IU Resurrection, Ernest Uday up front. I like this team, Jim, and you talked about this as well. Defensively, this team could be very good, and that's kind of takeaway with this whole roster. Jai Lucas has been very much like, we are a defensive team. That is what we do. Rah, 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 even though he was the O coordinator at Duke, I think, or whatever. But that's the takeaway of this team. Is it super deep? We'll see. I think it is because it's a lot of freshmen, but they're all talented. But defensively, I think this upper half starting 5, Jim, could be very good. That's sort of what you're hanging your hat on if you're in on the Canes.
Yeah, they're big, they're physical. That backcourt is rock solid adults. Like Washington, you're not going through him. Donaldson has been a pesky on-ball guy for a while, and he's well built. I think Dante Allen's a good defender. Shelton Henderson's a good defender. Those 2 freshmen they have coming in, that fits the identity well. I just don't know if the offense is going to look remotely decent in the half court. It's going to be like play through Malik Renault, have him kind of be the facilitator. And I do generally think that works, but are there enough shot makers around him? Is there enough creation when he goes to the bench? It's going to be a little weird because Uday is not a usage guy at all. He's offensive rebound, garbage man, dunker. Donaldson's been around some bigger initiators on both of his teams so far, and I guess he'll be around Renew. And Washington, I think, is like a complimentary guy. So, Kai, if they figure out offense, really good. But I think defense, it should be solid, provided Jai Lucas and our boy, C.Y. Young, and his guy, Marcus Allen, another great defender. I think they should be really solid on that end.
I'm glad you corrected. You said Dante Allen at first, but you just saved yourself with Marcus Allen.
No.
So.
I'm talking Dante Allen, the freshman.
Oh,
I think he's awesome.
Thank goodness. I thought you were talking about our
Yeah,
Mizzou guy, and I
was
was
like,
like, Jim,
They've got both Allens.
Marcus.
They've got both Allens. Yeah.
You bet on the Montverde guy, right, Jim? That's your takeaway with Dante?
Yeah, Montverde guy, and he played with the Boozers on Knight Riders and AAU and was like a hugely winning player to me. So
Jai Lucas year 1. He left Duke early to take this job. Worth it? I don't know.
Did Duke miss him at all?
Yeah, I don't know if you're the
No.
offensive coordinator, if you can lead early and your team doesn't skip a beat and should have won the title. So,
And finishes number one in offense in Ken
yeah,
Palm
I don't
without
know.
you.
Duke assistants
Cooper
haven't.
Flag, do stuff.
Yeah,
That's my job.
Oh, that's
Do
basically
cool
what
stuff.
Shire did, right? At the end of the game. Duke assistants haven't fared very well overall. Maybe the Shire tree is different than the Coach K tree. I don't put a lot of stock in that, by the way. I don't think they're failing because of Coach K. But I think it's still worthy of questioning. This program bottomed out last year, 193rd, 339th in D. Crazy. It's not going to be that bad. This team, I think, is a borderline tournament team. I see the upside. I think Renew takes a massive leap from post Woodson, and he's going to be very good. And I love Uday, very underrated player. So their front court's solid. I think Donaldson's underrated at the point. And Jim and I, of course, love Marcus Allen. I think this team's good. I can see them underachieving, certainly. I have a hard time believing they overachieve massively and like crack top 25 or something like that.
Let's move to Virginia Tech. Is that who I had next on my list here?
I don't know.
Yes, it
Tell
is.
me,
Seventh.
Matthew.
Yeah. Mike
No,
Young.
eighth, right? Eighth.
Oh, they're
It's
eighth,
eighth.
but that is next in line. We talked seven
Yes.
teams. This is now number 8.
Yep.
Virginia Tech.
We're not even
Bounce
halfway
back year.
through. Let's do this.
I know. Mike Young, bounce back year. Headline is they have maybe the best international player in the game coming over. Jim, is that too far? I think it's kind of a toss-up between him being Abdallah.
Neo, the one.
Neo, the one, who's going to be a first-round pick in the draft, did not go, went to Virginia Tech. I think between him, the 2 Virginia guys, and a few others, SARS in that mix, obviously, like elite, probably this team's best player should be. They got Lawal back. They added some nice transfer pieces. It feels like a classic high-floor Mike Young team again after last season's super talent-depleted team, which is just tough to watch. Unfair, really.
Yeah, I'm really in on this team, and it partially because I'm really in on Dallas. And by really in, I mean, Matt, I have them 8th as well, and I think could like flirt with the tournament and maybe be better than SMU. Because they were really bad last year, so that's kind of a leap to take. But I think the defense could be really switchable. Again, like they're big other than Ben Hammond, and Hansberry can move. Lawal can move. Like their bigs can switch. Isaiah Pasha is an adult. Sincere Jones is solid. They've got bigger guards. I think that all makes sense. I'm interested in the offense because Kai, we love Mike Young sets, the way they move, the off-ball motion, but I think their best player of Dallas is a mega star in pick and roll. He's kind of like Gegor Demon at BYU, where he's like this incredible passer, big, can see over the top of defenses. He averaged like 8 assists and 2 turnovers per game in FIBA this summer, and that was with his team shooting like shit from 3. I just think he's a stud. Is there enough athleticism? Does the offense work with Young and having a high usage ball screen guy? I think so. So I'm definitely buying bounce back for them.
Nowhere to go but up. I love how Mike Young said publicly last year how bad the roster was. I mean, 164 last year is crazy. They still are 8-12 in the ACC. Yeah, that was his worst team since 2016 Wofford. Kind of crazy. Yeah, I am not as high as you guys are on this team. I think they're a lot better. I think they're right in the mix. You could definitely call them 8th or right next to Miami or whatever you want to do. But I think they're still a little bit like prove it mode. I agree. Dallas looks great on tape. Big long wing, handles it, shoots, can play defense. Looks like the total package to me. But there's still a lot of lacking around him. I think Pasha has potential. Big freshman year at Delaware. I think Hansberry's pretty serviceable up front. Lawal, look, he's solid, but I think he's overrated as a college perspective. From a college perspective, he just is.
Because of the dunks.
Yeah, he dunks it really well. He's pretty overrated as an impact player, in my opinion. And Shutt is fine. Matt knows about Jaden Shutt.
He's fine.
This team's better, but they're not going to be top 5.
I don't think they're going to make threes. Like, they're not going to ring the bell, as Mike Young says, at the rate but they're much better defensively. It's a little different from the Mike Young teams that were good before last year, right? Just throw last year out in your Mike Young Virginia Tech perception. It's a much more athletic, rugged Virginia Tech team this year, which I think gives them a higher floor.
Take care of the ball. That's something Mike Young teams do, and they did not last year.
Yeah, they just that team was not an ACC talented roster. All right. Speaking of, I would debatably not super ACC talented roster. Notre Dame story here, Kai. I think a lot of expectation for all they brought back last season, and they have a lot coming back this season. Marcus Burton's back again. Braden Shrewsbury's back again, along with some other pieces.
And they're only juniors.
Sir Muhammad, some big time freshmen, like a couple of fringe top 100 recruits. The new one is Harrelson.
Harrelson's top 20. Yeah.
Ryder Frost, actually, I like more. Elite shooter. elite shooter. Not, I mean, different player, obviously,
Ryder
Harrelson.
Frost.
Sir
Yeah,
Muhammad
that's
Kai,
a
all
Kai. Isn't
name
that a
team.
Nick Cage character? It's got to
It's
be,
gotta be.
right?
I feel like Notre Dame's taking all the hateable white guys now. Maybe that might be a new thing.
Mm.
Harrelson, good. Sir Muhammad, why was he not good last year? I don't know, Kai. I feel like this might be a
Cool.
post-hype sleeper bet team after they kind of underachieved last year, but
Yeah.
also there's sort of a cap to this team's ceiling.
I like them a little better than Virginia Tech. Yeah, year one was great. 7-13 on awful roster in the ACC. Year two, man, Shrewsbury's got something to prove a little bit because that was disappointing. We had high expectations for them. I think we even flirted with them like top 50 last season. But man, to bring back two vet guards with high pedigree in Shrewsbury and Burton leading the way, again, can't be understated how important that is. And yeah, Harrelson, you got real talent. Hey, Carson Tout, man, at the very least, his rebounding is going to transfer. I think he led the country last year in rebounds, double doubles. It's going to transfer. I'm not sure he's scoring 10 points a game, but he will
I don't
get
think
rebounds.
so. I don't like Carson Tout in this league. I'm sorry. I'm going to push back.
Hey, if you average 13 rebounds a game, you're going to be a good rebounder anywhere you go, I think. I continue to hold out hope here, Jim. I think scoring is going to be a concern still. I'm not sure defense is totally shored up either. Yeah, that's where I land, right in the middle of the package.
Yeah, I like Matt's post-hype sleeper. Like I got really excited about them last year, and it was probably a year too early, at least with the guards. And it's worth noting, Marcus Burton missed 8 games in November and December. Then Alaco missed 8 games in February, and then Shrewsbury missed 8 games to end the season. And like, so they only had 3 competent guards really, and they were playing without one like for basically the entire season. So they got to stay healthy. You get Tout to come in and fill that Konstantinovsky role as the gobble up rebound guy who may not be good at anything else. That's okay with me. Yeah, the defense is weird because like with the number 5 continuity in the entire country, they were way worse defensively than they were in 2024 when they were younger. And I don't totally understand that. Shrewsbury should be able to build a defense. He did it at Penn State with a bunch of guards and one big man. This big man, Kevin Jai, was his big man. He still has the same guy around. I think it's workable, Matt, but I don't know how high the ceiling is still with this core.
I was equally confused with the defense. I was my preview. I think the loss of Booth hurt. This team's not super athletic. It just isn't. So I think the offense kind of has to carry the torch if they're really going to be like a top end ACC team. We'll see. I hope we're also like we all love Shrewsbury, Penn State. Now it's like just can't quite make that next
only had 2
step
years.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. How good do they need to be for you not to lose faith this year? Like if they're the same level as last year, like 95th, I'm going to be like, ugh, it's not going to happen here.
Yeah.
I know.
I need to
Gotta
see
be
like
top 75,
70th.
I think.
Yeah.
All right, number 10, Clemson, which is dumb because every year you pick Clemson at the middle or the bottom, they're going to be better than that.
I was surprised you
does.
had them this low. Yeah.
I know. I'm just basically teeing Brownell up to overachieve with this ragtag. And it is a ragtag roster. Kai Dylan Hunter, terrific floor general. Not really a true point guard, but
brother.
he's.
No,
I think he can help create, be a quasi point guard, but they're going to play through the post like they usually do. They got Nick Davidson. That's kind of their big pickup from Nevada. Carter Welling from Utah Valley was a big time big out there for a really vaunted front line. Your boy, Budda Johnson, and a bunch of kind of mishmashy 4-star, 3-star off the bench. Thoughts on the Orange Tigers?
Impressed with how Brownell has turned around his reputation, going from like fireable coach to now he's a dean of ACC coaches. This is his 16th year in the ACC, which is nuts to me at Clemson. They lose a ton, man. Hunter, the better Hunter's gone. Shefflin's gone. All the other starters. Dylan Hunter's fine, but man, he is not Chase Hunter. Yeah. Porter, Budda, fine. I like Davidson a lot. He's going to be great in this system. Obviously, a PJ Hall role makes a lot of sense to me. Welling should be solid. Godfrey, serviceable. So the front court, I kind of like. I think they lack a lot of firepower, though, in the backcourt. They might be gritty and tough on defense. I think scoring is going to be a real challenge. This team is down for me, Jim. I had the pulse last year on Clemson being good. This year, I don't think they're going to make the tournament. I don't think they're nearly as good.
Yeah, I think they're like the floor is high-ish because I think the high-low offense is going to be really hard to stop. Like Davidson is just a perfect big for them. Carter Welling is legit. Those guys going back and forth high-low, I think is going to be as good as some of the like prime Hall Shefflin stuff. And Godfrey is back to this system. He fits well here. He knows Brunell. I think he'll slide in seamlessly as well. Wallin, you see the vision of Chauncey Wiggins, but Chauncey Wiggins like sucked last year, or at least his on-off stats were nightmarish. Basically, that's why Dylan Hunter's on-off stats look amazing because Clemson was good when they played three guards and bad when they played a big
Spacing
man
was a
at the
problem.
three.
Big
So
problem.
remember that for Florida State, Chauncey Wiggins, not maybe a winning player when he's at the three. But yeah, the shot creation scares me. Dylan Hunter's not Chase. He's going to have to take a huge step up in usage. I think the turnovers could rise with that. I don't believe Justin Porter is an ACC player. I don't really think Butta is either.
Agreed.
He was bad last year. And like if you're playing Wallin at the three, that's a nightmare. So it's just guards aren't great, Matt. It's going to be how far can Davidson, Welling, Godfrey, and I guess the defense with our guy Billy Donlin joining Brad Brennell there. He's been there a while, but the defense should be solid. I just like the offense could be ugly at times.
Moving along, Pitt. So Pitt will probably do the thing where they dominate the non-con and then they turn into a pumpkin again in conference play. General identity shift here, very skilled, talent, shot making, perimeter oriented last year, Jim, spread and shred. This year, it's a more rugged team. And I think the epitome of that is DeMarco Minor, the like Oregon State quintessential rah-rah floor general guy who is, a good player, good mid-range shot maker, but like he's definitely about the, defense intangibles. They got Barry Dunning from South Alabama. Deshaun Jackson's their big pickup, obviously from Iowa State. He's kind of the key to the newcomer class. They lost a ton too.
How on earth does this team score? My God, I have no idea. Brandon Cummings can kind of shoot. I guess you can throw it into Jackson and let him just like kind of maul some people inside, but
Cam Corrin, all day,
not,
baby. Can't
not
guard
a winning
him.
player.
Can only
Not
hope
a winning
contain him.
basketball player for me. Siolipa is also just like going to put his head down and try to barrel into people. He's a rugby player playing basketball. I don't know what you're getting from Ingersitis. Maybe nothing. This is a icky one, Kai. I rated them around here, but I see a like bad scenario for them. Like, it could go really south. I love Minor Matthew. I just think he doesn't have enough weapons around him. I think he might have had more like wing talent at Oregon State last year than he does this year. That scares me a little bit. And Kai, just like I don't know that Capel's an elevator of talent. And last year, I mean, they like flushed the toilet in ACC play. They were
Insane.
just circling the drain for months. And it's hard for me to get excited this year.
They peaked at 12 in the country last year, 12-2 and 3-0, and then they were 5-12 since January 4th. I don't know what happened. Lowe turned into a bad player, but yeah, that's two straight bad years. Or sorry, after two straight outperformances, good years, Capel finally dropped back down to his normal level. I think that's where they stay, man. By the way, he's in his 8th year. That's nuts. This roster's not good. I've been shocked seeing people put Pitt in the top half of the ACC. I got them 13th. I think they're closer to the bottom of this conference. Minor's fine. Indersitis, unproven. Dunning was good at South Alabama. I'm not sure he's going to be great here. Jackson, come on. He's serviceable, but he's not moving the needle much. It's uninspiring. They lack depth for sure, and they're very inexperienced. I'm very low on Pitt this season.
I just think that they actually might play defense and rebound, and they might be kind of plucky. That's my only defense. Kind of like a Clemson type model. Not to oversimplify, but at least Brad Brownell's actually done that. Jeff Capel hasn't. So,
yeah. Remember, Dunning's coming from playing all zone, so that's
a
consideration.
Dunning will have 3 games where he makes 10 threes and they win and they beat him. Maybe they might. I bet Pitt beats one of the big 5 at one point this year. Okay, Syracuse, way more talented than most of the teams we talked about. I'm tired of the Red Autry thing. I think he needs to go. This team's like really talented though. I mean, Nate George from Georgia Tech, if you're in on him, Nate King's great shooter from Oregon State, bringing back Starling Freeman, William Kyle from UCLA, Kai, and I think 3 top 50 4-stars. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's there. It's better than the 12th best team in the ACC, but Red Autry's coaching, so that's where I'm at.
I started out by saying if this was Boeheim's team, surefire top 50, but it's not. And actually, in my head, I think Autry's been around forever. This is his 3rd season. It's hard to believe he's only in year 3. He's 18 and 22. I didn't think he had a bad year 1, but last year was a disappointment. He had major expectations, didn't deliver, not inspiring. Starling and Freeman are back. That's a pretty good start. But Starling's efficiency, Jim, we've talked about it. Not good. Defensive effort, not great. I like the Georgian Kings gets. I even like the Kyle get. There is talent, but again, I don't trust the coaching. I'm not sure they amount to much. I would have them over Pitt, though, for sure. A little higher up in the standings than Matt does.
I'd like them more if JJ Starling just wandered off campus and never came back. I think he's like a full negative player. He's 2 straight years of his on-off, heavily indicating that.
I was wrong
And
on
when
him. I thought he'd
he's
be
like,
nice at Notre Dame.
yeah, I did too when he got to Notre Dame,
not
and it
good.
just hasn't worked out. Defensively, I think they're going to be a total mess again. I think they never have a plan. Red's not sure if he should fully lean into man-to-man because I don't think he knows how to teach it. And the zone isn't good anymore. And it just looks sloppy and low effort. And they give up short possessions, the top 10 in shortest possession length last 2 years, because you can easily score early. You don't have to work very hard to get a shot against this team because they're not trying that hard defensively. So even with the offensive talent, and you had like a big fun athlete in Kyle, he's going to be like Toby Lawalkai, dunking a lot and making highlight reels while maybe not actually impacting the game that much. I'm just out. I'm tempted to make some sort of insane board bet where I bet Stanford against them again, despite Stanford having like a categorically horrible worse roster than Syracuse. I could see Kyle Smith pulling it off.
I think William Kyle is pretty key here. I think Stanford will be. I think he might be a refreshing back end rim protector to help.
Is he better than Eddie
defense,
Lampshade? I don't know.
I think
I mean,
like
like
just from a
as rim
verticality
protector,
perspective.
but
Yeah,
as a
that's why I
player?
care about. As a player, no, but I think on this team, Kyle's a better insertion.
Since nobody's guarding anything on the perimeter, you need the shot blocker.
Exactly. You're right, though. This is my bottom line for this team was just identity crisis. I don't know what Autry's trying to do, especially on defense. I don't know. And they quit a lot in big games. I just hate that. That bothers me. All right, Wake 13. This team could be like sixth. Again, we're in the mush, folks. So like, take all these the ordering here with a slight grain of salt.
Should we just real quick shout out Kean Anthony because like maybe he's awesome. I think there's a groundswell of he's underrated and.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
So there you
No,
go,
if there are
Syracuse
freshmen.
fans.
I'm trying to plug the freshmen who I've heard. Yeah, please do.
Limited tape.
Sorry.
He's not underrated.
Okay.
He's Carmelo Anthony's
Wow,
son. He's
love
not
it.
underrated. Shut up out there.
You can't possibly.
Carmelo
be
Anthony's son.
No one's talking about this kid. Have you guys seen this kid play? The guy who was your
Sorry,
best
Matt.
player on the.
Sorry to
national
interrupt. I just
No, valid take. Come on, like Forbes and Shrewsbury. Like, come on, just
one time
you're
for me.
there.
Yeah.
Close but no cigar again. I like that. Again, I just like that this is sort of a reset of last season, which did not work on offense. They were good defensively. They reshuffled the deck. They got Nate Calmese from Washington State. They got Miles Colvin-Kai, your boy from Purdue. Feels like an obvious breakout candidate. Cooper Schweiger from Valpo, whatever. A couple other good players. Juke Harris, Spillers are back, along with Billahu, who could be awesome if healthy ever. There's some interesting pieces here, Kai. That's my takeaway. Yeah. And I think it's a better offensive team, more balanced team.
There were some paper. I don't know how the offense improves. I don't know why it would. I can't really see the defense being great. And yeah, Forbes, man, gosh, no NCAA tournaments. He's 2-3 outperforming KenPom rank. He has made Wake relevant again, to be fair. He's been really good in the ACC. Like 47-33 over 4 years is good. He has track records with guards. We know this. So Calmese coming in from Washington. Okay, maybe you can build that up. Maybe you can be an Appleby, right? Tyler Johnson was not that. Missed. I think Colvin is a great addition. Juke Harris has a lot of hype, especially this season. Maybe he's the guy that takes the leap. I agree with you. Schweiger is not an ACC player. He might be okay, but come on, he's just not. I think Spillers is good. Blue, high recruit, but I don't know what happened there. Injuries. I think Wake is better than Virginia Tech, Jim, but not by much.
Ooh, I'll board bet it if you want to.
I have
really, do it
like similar.
So do I, but let's do it. Let's have fun. Let's be great. Let's be legends. Come on.
I'm wrong.
See, all these teams are like the same, but maybe they're just because we just don't know.
They're all the same.
So I'm just like defaulting to calling them the same. Like I don't have a take, so I'm just going to call it. But they do feel like very similar. There's just a lot of recycling of players. It's just hard to really,
I think I'd like with Wake this year is they'll be more balanced. It felt like watching them last year that everyone besides Salas was like, well, I might suck. And they just lost their confidence. Like no one could make a shot. Shot 28.5% from three. But then you look at, all right, they bring in Calmese shot 29%. Colvin shot 31. Harris is back 30%. Spiller shot 29% last year. Schweiger shot sub 30% from three last year. Like it's a lot of bricking for a team that did a lot of bricking last year, but they have to be more balanced. I don't think Calmese is going to be like some savant Alondis Williams type guy or Appleby type guy coming in. So you got to be balanced. You need Billy to be a little healthy for the defense and I don't know. It's just like
Mason
a worse
too.
roster.
Mason, when healthy, can shoot the crap out of it. I mean, I think
Yep.
he tilted some games for Washington last year, so we'll see.
It's a worse roster than last year, like without the top end talent, but maybe it just works better
Works
functionally.
better. Agree.
But I don't think they're making the tournament. It's not a good enough roster for me.
It does feel like there's again, inherent ceiling, but I just like that they reshuffled the deck. I think they needed to change a breath of fresh air after a really kind of like you really had tethered yourself to that core last season that just you didn't have the right supporting pieces around Salas and just didn't really fit offensively. I think they're trying some. They're
Efton
redesigning
Reed
their
might have
offense
always
this
been
year
kind of bad.
too.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they brought in what's his name? Friedman from the pro ranks.
Some
new
NBA guy
assistant
to
like basically like, can we reshuffle everything? I think Jordan Majeski's going to have an article on that.
Okay,
on
good.
Basketball
Yeah,
Review,
I did.
so check
I
it
did
out.
catch that. Again, I just like that we're throwing something new at the wall. See what sticks. I generally think that can be a good thing. Florida State, Luke Locks. Who was low on Florida State? Kai, that was you.
I'm low on this team. Yes.
Okay, so this is to me. I think this is a vintage, like if you're kind of cash poor from a power conference perspective on NAL budget, which Florida State, I think from a hoops perspective is, your roster looks very top heavy. I think Miami's has more money than Florida State, but like the football side, I think dominates a lot of it. So you kind of have a top heavy-ish roster. Florida State, very top heavy. Their seventh best player might be a 3-star freshman who was like a Temple commit offshoot, just for context.
Ugh,
so it's
I just shuddered at that thought.
that's just so Robert McCray from Jacksonville, Kobe McGee from Drexel, Lajai Jones from St. Bonaventure, Chauncey Wiggins, as Jim mentioned, Alex Steen, who's supposed to be a stud, Florida Southern D2 guy, stud. But again, how big is your ceiling if that's your best player? I don't know. Maybe it's a high floor, low ceiling thing again. That's where I'm at.
There's no high floor. It's a low floor. And Somerville, UMass Lowell, the talent does not come close to the ACC. I think they're clearly bottom tier. Like McCray, sure, you can score. Jacksonville is horrible last 3 years.
They were bad. McCray started at Wake, right?
Drexel, I love Drexel has all these up transfers and can't win. Like that's very funny to me. No, they've been okay.
It's the Northern Illinois corollary.
Yeah, Luke Slouks. He played for Hamilton. He was an assistant in the NBA since 2016. I'm just skeptical that it works out in year one, especially with the roster he built. It's just not talented enough, and it's not deep enough. I think they're definitely in the bottom tier.
I'm going to like them in first halves, I think, this year, where like they come out and they're spread you out. And like, I think they're going to look really good 4 out with Laux' kind of offensive acumen and their top 6 players. I actually genuinely like all 6. Whether that's an ACC caliber roster, I would probably agree with these guys or not. And I think they'll fade on the stretch in second halves when they get like worn down physically and they just don't have enough bodies. But they'll knock down some shots early, and I think they'll take some leads against teams. We're like, wow, they're 6 for 9 from 3 to start the game, and then they finish like 9 for 32 and can't really hack it in the second half. But I think they'll be skilled, and I think there's a clear vision with the roster. Like, let's be able to spread the floor. Let's be mobile and switchable defensively. Like Wiggins, Jones, Steen are all like very mobile big men. I think that was a clear goal, and they got some bigger guards. It just falls off a cliff talent-wise and depth-wise, and I think that's going to be a huge problem.
Jim, do you like that Michael Fly is on staff?
Former Mizzou assistant. I'm not overly jumping for joy.
However, Gerald Gillian also on staff.
I love that Gerald Gillian's on staff.
That guy. Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Fly was not a great head coach.
I'm very curious how Steen works out. I don't want this. I'm worried this is a Colorado situation last year where it's like this just team's not good enough. If your best player is Elijah Malone, where are you going? That's kind of what
I really
this
like
made
that.
me feel like.
I really like that comparison. Sadly, yeah.
So, all right, Boston College. A team that actually has some like it was a more fun team to write about. So I do think there is some interesting pieces here.
Wow, tell me what's fun here, Matt. Tell me.
I
what's
like
fun.
Chase Forte, South Dakota. I know he's like played at 5 million different schools and just like his gun for hire. He comes in just like, all right, give me the bag and I'll go do my thing. But he was really good last year in that system. Maybe it's not the right system for him here, but I like that they have a pretty good point guard. I like Payne in hand. Aiden Shaw, I know you both love Aiden Shaw. You miss him dearly at Mizzou. Freak athlete.
Solid glue piece. Yeah, just not high caliber. Not a game changer.
You had Asimota as kind of a buy low from Baylor. It's just it looks more talented for BC. It's a more talented BC roster. It's the most talented team Grant's had. Ooh. What that means in upward mobility.
I just totally disagree with that.
Disagree by a mile.
Am I missing an obvious team?
No, I just think this roster isn't talented.
He never has talented rosters. This roster is more talented than what he has. It's still not a talented roster.
The Clinton Post team is
talented
way better than this team. Quentin Post's roster was way better than this.
Oh
team.
yeah,
Quentin Post is in the
Quentin
NBA.
Post. Yeah, Quentin Post. Sorry. I was like, I'm missing one. Yeah, Post, obviously. Okay. Damn it. You're right. Post was insane.
Yeah, it feels like.
Can I just?
Go ahead, Jim.
Chase Forte sucks. Chase Forte sucks. He's going to be horrible in this league.
I like
He was
Forte.
playing barely basketball at South Dakota. Like they were not playing the sport of basketball. They were just like, let's try to not play any defense. It was like almost Grinnell style.
Grinnell,
Like
yeah.
yeah, it was disgusting. I hated watching it. Like try to get a steal. If you don't, it's okay. Give up a layup and get down there as fast as you can on the other end. 92 O rating in the Southland 2 years ago. He's going to be an awful ACC player. Payne is fine. Donald Hand fine. I like Shaw.
And solid.
I don't see it, Kai. I think you like have to squint to even like they're clear 18 for me, like 3 points behind 17. I think they're off.
I think
I have an exact spot as you, Jim.
Asimota could be really good. I think we need to. I want to make sure if he goes nuclear, I want to make sure I was on the right side of that ledger. Very good, very very talented local kid.
Can we board bet him somehow?
I think he might be this team's like second or third best player.
Yeah, I don't know how to measure it, but I think he's like hope and pray upside, and that's why Baylor was like, okay, we're not playing you, get off our roster.
Let me ask a question. When does this team just drop down? Program has been top 100 twice since 2011. No dances since 2009. I think it's time to just send them to the Patriot. Send them to the
At least give him a chance in the A10, right?
It's not an ACC program. It never will be.
Even Allen Boston, like the first time we talked to him, like it feels like a decade ago, was like, hey, Boston College is not an ACC program. It should not be in the ACC. And it's like now that it's panned out overall, it's just not. Just doesn't. No one goes to the games.
You're 5
for good enough in football, whatever.
How's that possible? You'd ask me who's been coaching longer, Red Autry or Earl Grant at their stops. I'd say Autry. It's 2 and 5. Grant's been coaching way longer.
Again, that's part of where I think you have some apathy with the AD if you're not, But anyway, let's get Stanford, Cal, Georgia Tech. I don't know. Stanford, to me, to Jim's point, it's not a lot of talent. They brought back a lot, but like it's a little more quantity than quality. The key here is Jeremy Dent-Smith is a stud D2 kind of power lead guard who might be their best player. So Florida State and Stanford's best player might be D2 guys. Kind of tells you all you need to know about the limitations there. But there are some fun pieces here, and Stanford will probably overachieve because that's all Kyle Smith does. But in terms of upward mobility, I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's all I have. The ACC teams, by the way, or the West Coast teams sucked going east last season. Shocking.
So did every team that had to go west coming back,
and vice versa. It's just they just ruined the leagues. Like whatever. It's just stupid. I hate it. Anyway, go ahead, Jim.
I wrote down for my next trick. That's Kyle Smith's quote. He's just going to somehow make this team a top 100 roster, which would be shocking. Dent Smith is awesome. He was 97th percentile in RAPM, 99th percentile in WARP at the Division II level. The best player for a team that played in the national title game. Like they were really good, and they were really good because of him. I think he's going to be a major lift for a team that desperately needs his like shot creation, on ball stuff. Everybody else is like a pretty big shrug. I kind of like Agarwal, and they were a little young last year with like Stinson, Kamen, Young. Maybe there's a little upside unlocked in them. And Rahosi played for Smith at Washington State for a year and was like dominant D3. So maybe there's like the familiarity and he can help a little bit. But I like, Matt, you made the Colorado comparison earlier. That could be the same thing here, where it's like their best players are like D2 up transfers, D3 up transfers. And is that actually going to work in the ACC? Probably not. But Kai, they'll be annoying because of Kyle Smith and their size.
I purposely have them overrated and in the middle of the pack group, like just the same as like a Syracuse, because I think he's going to overachieve. 9 guys back from last year. 5 guys played over 15 minutes a game. I know the talent's lacking, but that's a lot of continuity, and I really think Kyle Smith is a great coach. So I think they're going to be feisty. Top 100 is very possible.
You have them rated the same as Syracuse. If the coaches swap teams, how big would the gap be? Like, would it be 9 points?
Several points.
Yeah.
Several
like Kyle Smith with Syracuse's roster and Red Autry with this roster. It'd be massive.
It is a purposeful overrate, Matthew. But I'm surprised you're low.
I'm not. Am I low? I guess
you were low on Stanford last year.
I think Stanford's better than Florida State. If you want to board bet that one,
be a Kyle Smith guy.
Okay, I don't want to. I guess I don't want to bet
you got them in separate tiers. You got to do it. You have to. You have them in separate tiers. You have to bet that.
No, I'm literally going to change the outline because I can't do that.
Bully. I'm bullying you.
I'm moving BC up too. BC and Stanford are getting promoted to the good mush, so that leaves the not good mush as
Did we do Stanford
we're
versus
betting,
BC?
We're betting BC, right, Jim? As
We
the
already
worst team in this
have Cal
conference.
versus BC.
Cal versus BC.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel good about that one. Let's talk Cal, Georgia Tech. And maybe I'm too low on Georgia Tech here.
I don't want to talk Georgia Tech.
I think you're a little low.
Do you guys? Where do you guys? I thought I was too low on them. I was curious for you guys.
I still have them like
I have them
14,
17th.
15, 16. Some one of those.
Okay.
They're down there.
But you guys don't have a clear worst team then. So you think Cal is
No,
god
Boston
awful?
College is clearly the
No, I
worst
think
team.
I have BC 3 points
yeah,
lower
no,
than
I don't
anybody.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'm not even saying that name probably right. Gonna absolutely crush.
How do you think
Baylor,
Cal's so bad? We'll talk
Baylor
about
will be
Cal,
like,
but
oh, we should have kept that guy.
I don't know how you
Let's-
think Cal's
let's-
is
yeah.
bad. We'll go GT. That's fine. GT?
Yeah,
Matt,
GT.
make the case for Georgia Tech scoring any points this year.
Well, Lamar Washington scored 14 a game last year for a really good. Really terrible Pacific. No, it's tough. I don't see it here. You lost Nate George, who I really liked. You kept Bay and Dongo, who I feel like everyone was hyped about last season, and then he just was fine. I think he's still trying to find his identity as a player, and they've kind of shuffled the deck around him. They had a lot of injuries last year too. I like Cam Kraft from Miami, Ohio. I think he's gonna be really good, but again, very heavy on freshmen. I think the youth commitment that Stoudemire's been making are admirable, but if you're gonna do that, those guys got to pop quickly, and you got to stay healthy, or else the margin for error is pretty thin, and that just hasn't worked out. I think in Stoudemire's favor so far. He's got some talented-ish freshmen, but the portal guys haven't been consistently complementary to those young talent guys, nor have those young guys actually really panned out that well. So
I really hate that he's performed basically exactly the same as Red Autry in the ACC through 2 years. And we hold Stoudemire in high regard, his specific tenure. And he has less expectations for sure at Georgia Tech. But still, if we're going to hold Autry's feet to the fire, Stoudemire hasn't been great. And he's had talented teams. He's got 3 guys back this year. Reeves, remember, didn't play much of last year. I don't think he's amazing, but it's good to get him back with Ndongo. Yeah, the transfers, Jim, don't inspire confidence. My question, why won't they just be around 100 again? It's going to be a rinse and repeat of last year.
Yep, totally agree. I think Kai, you want us to put his feet. I think he's been bad. I think he's been bad there. I don't think it's been a good tenure at all. Not what they hoped for. Georgia Tech should be a little bit better than this. Yeah, I think they're going to be right around 100 again. The defense should be solid. I think he's a good defensive coach. He proved that at Pacific. He's kind of proved it here. Silas adds another shot blocker. I think complements Ndongo, who's the glass eater a little bit more. They got bigger in the backcourt with Washington. But besides Cam Kraft, just shooting it from wherever he feels like, I don't know how they score points. I think it's going to be ugly on that end. Maybe a little bit of offensive rebounding is part of it, but that's never been a huge bit of Stoudemire's offenses except for 1 year at Pacific. So, Matt, yeah, it's ugly offense, stingy defense, finish 100th again to me.
Sila's a good mention. Freakish rim protector. He could fundamentally alter the trajectory of this team's defense and give them a high-ish floor. To your point, Kai, I think it feels like around a fringe top 100 team. And lastly, let's go to Cal here.
Wait, without looking, where do you think Georgia Tech finished in offense and defense in the ACC last year in just conference games efficiency?
Defense, 10.
10th in both.
Offense,
15. 12th in both.
Kai, you are correct on offense. 15th in offense, 5th in defense.
Okay.
So, is the defense getting much better than last year?
That's a good point. Fair.
California.
That is weird.
California. Yeah, the Californians.
He does like positional size, and I think that was a part of it too. So
Matt, why does California suck so bad to you? Are they just boring, or do you really think they suck?
I don't think they suck. No, I just think they're in this. Jim, I have every ACC team is inside the top 100 for me, or top 115-ish.
That would
have
be
any bad teams.
That'd be the first time Cal's done that under Matson. He has not gotten top 100 yet.
So
I think he'll do it this year.
am I down on Cal? I don't know if I'm down on Cal. I just feel like the roster is okay. Data Ames comes in from Virginia. Chris Bell, not a winning player, but could be at a different outside of Red Autry.
Hey, yeah, he's not
Could
playing
be-
for Red.
Exactly. John Camden, Kai, your boy from Delaware, nice player. I just don't know if I trust to step
They're
up.
better gets than Boston. And Dorsey was CAA Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, they're better gets than BC. If you have BC top 100, you need to reevaluate your rankings.
Yeah, take a look in the mirror.
115-ish.
You got to reevaluate your rankings.
Nah, Asamoah, write it down. That's the breakout.
Hey, Petritus, he's back.
Yeah, Mr. Petritus.
Perhaps the most poorly used portal pickup ever last year. Just completely not shaped for the right role. That's my issue with Matson. I think he just tries to get who he can get and just figure it out. I don't feel like there's any fit design with his rosters, which maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. Feels like it hasn't been so far, but there's a lot of bodies here, Jim. But it's just, Justin Pippen, Scottie Pippen's going to be on the floor out there for Cal. Milos Elis from Loyola, one of the Elis brothers, a little inside out, kind of Petritus-esque guy. I don't know. I just don't see the vision here. I don't.
I think the defense can be solid. I think he's a really good defensive coach. They play like super deep drop coverage, leave Lee Dort or Milos Ilic around the rim, and
Dorsey,
let that
defense
kind
player
of
of the year from Campbell. I agree. Defense could be good. Kind of like Georgia Tech, maybe similar narrative in that way. High floor defense.
Like, they're not going to be good on defense because of Chris Bell. I'll tell you that much. But at least everybody else, like Petritus, is a pest. Like annoying as hell to play against. He's like in your shorts, like pinching you, Kai. That's probably what he's doing
for sure
off camera.
Yes,
and I think the offense has a little bit of interest to me. Like Chris Bell's a really good shooter who Autry didn't use all that well. Ames was actually kind of solid for Virginia, and he's now playing in like a real basketball system instead of mover blocker in 2025, the year of our Lord. Camden's a good scorer. I think there's enough here. Illich is a front court facilitator. I like them better than Georgia Tech and BC, significantly more than BC. So that's why I locked in that board bet.
All right. Sorry, it's 8:30. I'm gonna be late to drop off my daughter at daycare here.
All right. How many teams make
there's
the
no more
tournament?
teams.
Reviews?
We didn't forget any teams, did we? We actually forgot teams in the A10.
How many teams make the tournament?
Over
I think
under
that top 5.
6.5. Is that too high?
Ooh, it's too high, I think.
Okay, 5.5.
Yeah, that's a good line. I'll say 6.
I'll say 6.
I'll say my top 5, and Virginia Tech makes it 6.
Wow. You're
Let's
going all in.
Yeah, Hokies, fire up.
It could be 7. I don't know.
Actually, I'm saying, you know what, 7, because I think Clemson finds their way there.
There's 18 teams. Like one of these teams will just be random. Like Syracuse might just be good. Like,
We
oh,
got
okay.
4
Syracuse
teams
is
last
good.
year, 3.
Oh yeah, Matt, you briefly mentioned at the top the schedules. Like they moved down to 18 league games so that they could schedule better. And every team except like Duke was like, actually, we're just going to buy more cupcakes. And it's the schedules are terrible mostly. So I think that's going to hurt them. I should probably say 6 because of that, and I will. I'll say 6 because so many teams scheduled like butt. Miami, I am looking right at you, you losers.
I'm so sick of every coach thinking there's like a secret sauce to scheduling. Like I just play whoever will play you, and then the cards will fall. If you're a good enough team,
better. Yeah.
You'll be in the tournament probably. If you're not, you probably won't be. Like this whole like the big guys can't do Q3, or there's like here's the formula. Everyone's saying coach is like, oh, I have a formula. It's like you don't just fucking play teams and go play them, and wherever you got to play them. If you win by enough, you're probably pretty good. You're probably in the tournament. There's not like you can't game the system. It's stupid. I hate it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have one review.
That's all I have.
One review.
Go.
Okay. One review. Here we go. It's from Benjamin, originally via Milwaukee. He says, thanks. Love the conference previews, contrasting them with my annual personal rankings of each team in college basketball. He's got a question. Coaching hires in the Big Ten. Each of the previous 3 coaches at Drake were newly hired in the same conference this past offseason. Medved, DeVries, and McCollum. What is the next likely school to do this or come close to such an occurrence? VCU is an obvious choice, but Capel and Rhodes would likely parachute out if anything. Shaka and Anthony Grant are comfortable, and Wade Odom just got hired. Would love your thoughts. Thanks again. Any answers to this? Tough question.
This is tough, but San Francisco, like if Golden got a blue blood, Kyle Smith got a better job, and Gurlison got a new one.
Going to the Big
could
12?
maybe, yeah, something
Golden
like
to
that.
Kansas,
I don't know.
Smith
Yeah.
to
like
one of the
obviously
lower
Golden's not
ones.
leaving for anything but like 4 jobs, so that's not likely to happen. But it's a great question. I'm racking my brain to try to figure it out. North Texas, like could like McCaslin gets an even better job. I don't think he ever wants to leave Texas Tech. So don't yell at me, Red Raider fans. But like Hodge, poor West Virginia could get leapfrogged again for 1 year for a guy. I don't know.
Kai McCaslin is like that's like a Texan. That's a Texan twang. Talk about my state specific dialect that I'm very in tune with that you're not. That you don't
totally
understand.
agree that the state of Texas has an accent. Virginia is an accent that I've never heard.
No, but like the South is not just there's different little regional dialects that you pick up on if you're as keen as I am. But I think McCaslin's accent's very Texan-y to me.
Here's one. George Mason. Dave Paulson gets a slightly better job. Kim English goes to like the NEC, and Tony Skinn gets a real job. There's 3.
That's actually good.
Got to be same
Yeah.
conference though, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
no, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. Is the AAC better than the A10? Okay, that's a hard question.
Yes. Yes.
George
yes.
Mason's a good one though. Yeah, we'll think about that one.
Thanks.
That's it, Matthew. Back to you.
Well, that's all we have. Go USA Ryder Cup. Looks like it's not a great start for the Yanks. But yeah, that's all we have. ACC coming at you. Just came at you. Stay tuned for next week's. Who are we talking about next week?
Oh no,
Whoever we want.
All right.
Big East, Big 12, Big
Yeah.
10. Somebody.
We'll figure it out.